welcome back to my channel. Today we are going back to building some miniatures, and you have seen on my channel, if you go through the videos, and those of you that have been around since the beginning, I have done 1/4 inch. I just worked on a 1-inch scale toy store that I shared with you all. And today I'm going to the itty bitty, one of the very, very micro scales. And this is a 1/44 scale, which is teeny, teeny, tiny. And I have the kit here. If I can open this, I will show you what I mean about teeny tiny. And I bought 2 of these. This is the slanted mid-century modern. These are the pieces, but what I want to show you, this is the front of the house. See that? This is the front of the house, and that gives you an idea just how small the house is. And there's that. Little pieces, all the little pieces. Different floors. This is the base of the house. As you can see, this is very small. So they also gave us a little turf so that we can have like a yard. Okay. I make sure that everything is in the screen. Guess I should move a little bit this way. There we go. And further down. There we go. Okay. We got windows, front door, all these little pieces, the green, some posts, I'm assuming. And we have instructions, which are the most important thing. So I'm checking to see that I have all my pieces, which I do, and they're all the exact size. So there's that and that. That's how small it is that you can fit it all in one on the actual size. There. We have the green floors extra. Here we go. The base. 1 floor, roof, and the smaller roof. And there are all our pieces except these, which are here. 2 post and 2 small, which I have 3, which is great to have an extra of these, which we will find out what they are. I'm not quite sure until we get there. All right, so all my pieces are here. And the first thing it says is to use the X-Acto knife to loosen the pieces from their template, which I think this is not, yeah, but this is. So we're going to get our X-Acto knife. And we're going to go through. Okay, all the pieces I took out, and it says to sand the edges, stain and paint. But to be honest with you, I'd rather glue it all together and then make a decision what colors I want to use, because it just makes it easier for me to select. But it does recommend that you stain it and paint it before you glue it together. So I'm just going to start gluing before I decide what I'm going to do with the paint and all that. All right, so a little sanding, which I'm going to use a very small, thin file, which is basically the regular files. They just shred them into these really thin ones for small work, and you can get these at any hobby store. So we're just going to sand the edges, mostly so that when it was laser cut, however, I have just changed my mind. I am going to paint it the inside. I might as well paint the outside so that I can decorate it. It'll be a lot harder to paint the inside. So I just realized that I'm thinking of the whole structure all the way around, and I forgot the inside. So I am going to paint the inside, and I'll take advantage and just paint everything, and we can go through that together. I do have my wood glue that I just put in a smaller, it's regular wood glue. I just put it in a small bottle. So I am going to think about this, select some paint and maybe some stain, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I've done some work off camera. I did a lot of painting and repainting, etc., etc. But I think I like this the best. The orangey red with the sand colored stone and purple accent and purple door. I mean, not purple, I'm sorry, turquoise. Got purple on my mind because it's my favorite color. So the turquoise and red is very mid-century modern, and I like that combination. It looks pretty cool. So what I did on the inside was I went online and I looked for, what was the search? Mid-century modern wallpaper or something like that. And I came up with a few different, some of which are like, oh my God, I'm going to have a headache for the next day or two. But I thought this one was pretty cool for a tiny little house. And so I right-clicked, copied the image, and put it in my layout program and minimized it so that it would be, I guess, almost quarter inch. I mean, 1/44 inch. I don't know that it's exactly to scale, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. I think it'll work fine. And of course, the door is turquoise inside. Okay? So that's the front of the house. On the sides, here is one side with the window, and it's got the trim. That went turquoise. And of course, the edge, so that it will have continuity. Here we go. So it'll have, wait, no, it goes like this. My bad. Here we go. Now I have to touch up that little corner here with some turquoise. And that's how it's going to be. Now, what I did with the stone, I used, and this is not the best paint. This is from Dollar Tree, Acryology by Richard. Sea Sand is the color. That's the color I wanted for the stone. Unfortunately, I don't have this color in a Ceramcoat, which is, you know, much thicker, more pigmented paint. This is, it's called Tahiti Blue, the teal that I use for the front of the house. And this was one coat and you're done. But the red orange was this, also by Acryology, because I don't have, this is called Vermilion. And I don't have this color in Ceramcoat. I guess something I should get. So I did use that, took again a few colors. But I don't have this color, and that's the color that I wanted. And as you can see, it's not much different than the original, but it is lighter. And I wanted to have that sand mute a little bit of the burnt from the laser and give it that sandy color so that there's a nice contrast there. I need to really trim the paper on the windows. Okay? So what I did was, instead of painting, so I didn't have to, go back between all the ridges, because it is ridged. It's not flat. So what I did was I dry brushed. I got a brush that I have, an old brush that I just slowly kept cutting down until now it became something like this that's kind of like a very stiff bristle, which is great for dry brushing. I got a little bit of paint on my brush, kind of dabbed it on a paper towel so that it's not soaked. You're gonna do a lot of dipping, and because if you're smart and you choose a higher quality paint, you don't have to do it as often as I have had to do it, because I had to do it and redo it and redo it and redo it. And because it's wood, of course, the first few will sink into the wood. It'll soak it up. Now, if you have the patience to go in there and paint each tiny individual stone, then more power to you. I can't. I don't have the patience for that. A very, very thin tip, fine tip. Alright, now that it's painted, we are going to, with some wood glow, so there's the outside. Now for the inside, I cut a little piece of the pattern to size. And let me look and see what the, okay, it goes up. We're going to paint that, we're going to glue that there. For that, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac so that my paper doesn't get all curly. I left a little edge there because I'm going to put a little border there, because that's going to be the back of the house. Now it's time for the inside trim, which I also painted in sand color. I figured that was neutral enough. It went with the with the stone, and it was neutral enough to not compete with this madness of wallpaper. And there is our last side all done. There's the inside, there's the outside, and now we have to put it together. Deal with the floor. I went and got some flooring images, and again brought it down to the 144, that, or at least it looks like it would be right in there. So before I get ready to put it on my floor, I want to, here it is. I want to give it a very satiny sheen so that it looks like it's been polyurethaned. So I'm going to do some Mod Podge. This is matte Mod Podge. And just very lightly, I want to soak it. I want to take the detail away or have the ink run all over. I just want to give it a little sheen. So very little, very thin coat. Okay, so now we let that dry, which it should be quick. Mod Podge dries very, very quickly. So now we are going to cut out our floor. Right on top of the paper, on the wrong side, of course. I'm actually going to put a little more so that I can cut it exactly to size. And that just works a lot better. In case it moves, I am marking it all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my craft knife and cut it. Again, because it's paper, I'm using my Fabri-Tac. Yeah, if you are doing paper crafts, using anything with water is terrible. And I love glue sticks, but glue sticks, unfortunately, they don't last. Papers will come off when it's totally dry, especially if you use heavy papers. All right, now we're going to put our floor supposed to slide it in. Oops, you know what? I forgot that I had to put the floor in, and I already put the edge on this one. So when something like that happens, I do not go crazy trying to take everything off. I just cut the bottom off. it's easier to pull off a little bit than to pull off the entire section. All right, so here we are. Okay, why aren't you fitting the way it's supposed to fit? Okay, I'm following instructions, but the instructions are not working with me here. I have a feeling that this down here does not match. And it's not letting it. And that's a problem. But the instructions said to do this first. And this is where it goes, because that's what it matches outside. Just going to cut the bottom. Yeah, sometimes, unfortunately, you just have to figure it out as you go along because you don't realize that there are issues until you get there. Okay, so to be on the safe side, so we don't have any of that shadow, I am going to touch up right underneath the door. Right. And that way, hopefully, we won't have that much of a shadow. Okay. I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll work on the roof. Okay, so while I was waiting for the glue to dry, I went ahead and painted the steps, the outside beams, overhang, and all that neat stuff. I also cut and glued down the grass for the base. I decided that to cut around the house was too much work, so I'm just going to put the house on top. And I also went hunting for some quarter scale furniture that I dug up from my stash. And we'll put that in as well. At the same time, I figured out the roof, which is a flat roof, and therefore it doesn't really have shingles. My understanding is that shingles don't work on a flat roof. It'll cause something or other. I don't know. My husband's the one who knows about that stuff. So I did some internet research. And I found that they have this, it was either metal or I forgot what the other, composite, I think, gravel, something like that. But anyway, it had these ridges, and I'm hoping the camera will pick up that there's these ridges, and it was these planks. So I found this, again, my craft stash. It's like foam. So I painted it first, I think I did a brown, and then on top I did a little bit of gray and let the brown come through. And I think that'll look good on the house. So what I'm going to do now is, if I follow the directions, I have to put the outside details, put it on the house, on the base, outside details, and then the roof. So I think first, because once I start putting together, I like to put it all together. I'm going to prep the roof and have it ready. So I had already pre-measured this. I'm just going to re-mark it so that I can cut easily. Excuse my paint-filled fingers. Okay, so here is here. I'm going to have to paint those edges. Okay, now we're going to glue this down. And I guess in the middle. All right. Okay. Now we're going to do the overhang of the door and the first step. I know it has a name and it's not coming to me right now. Right, there's a threshold, if you can see that right there. Now we're doing on top. There you have it. That's our little house. Now, before we put the roof on, let's move in. I have all these cute little guys, even though I still haven't finished the outside, have I? See, I'm running ahead of myself. I'm so excited. So excited. Okay, so this is how it looks on the instructions. Now that I put that, there's like 5 steps that are zigzagging, and then the sides. So let's do the sides first. Okay. There are our little pavers for our little front path. Now let's move in. I think I'm going to do the kitchen over here and the living room over here. And this would look so cute with like little books and, you know, little flowers or whatever. It takes a lot of time to make something this small custom for these things. And, you know, this is about building the kit. I just, you know, felt this would be cute to show you because they do make furniture kits. These were a kit. And I had it left over because I ended up not using it. But this is from Cindy's Mini Art. And that's on Etsy. Cindy's Mini Art. And it's 4 rooms. It's got 2 bedrooms, kitchen, and I guess dining room. It's got a table and chairs, and living room. And it's not cheap. It was $35, but they're great little kits, easy to put together. Rather than you racking your brains. I've had kits where it's cheap, but oh my God. And once they come together and you figure it out, it's terrible. They look awful. These are really nicely laser cut that fit together very nicely. So I do recommend Cindy's Mini Art. She has a lot of miniature stuff. This particular one is $144. And I bought a few other things too, and I used the others and never used this one. The kit itself was Faith's Miniatures, also on Etsy. Faith Miniatures. I think she's in Canada. Not quite sure. So if I put, I don't even know how I'm going to show you this stuff. If I put, that's what tweezers are for. There we go. Here's the couch. Couch, I'm just going to have to go in front of the windows. I don't have enough walls. And now we're going to put a chair there. And a chair there. I don't know, can you see that? I'll do it like that. And then we have our coffee table. And like I said, all this can be accessorized really cute. I just really don't have the time right now to actually do that. And I will glue these down with repositional glue once I know where everything is gonna go. But definitely the kitchen is not to scale. It should be a little bigger. Either that or everything else has to be smaller. But definitely this table is too big. Okay, but I think that's how it's going to look. So I am going to glue all this down with repositional glue, and we'll put the roof on. For this, I'm using Aleene's Reposition It tacky glue. It works really well when I'm not sure where it's going to live permanently, because then I can move it and put it somewhere else. Okay? We are all moved in and ready for our roof. So this should be dry now. Now I need to cut all the excess. Okay, ready for the roof. The roof comes like this. And like this. Okay, we are done. Here's the front. Here is the back. And our roof. And there is our little house. All set, ready to go. And there's so much you can do. You can put little flowers. Like I said, this would be great. That I think they're meant to be flower beds, but I really don't have anything small enough to do it. But as I go along, if I find some, I can make some little bushes here, little plants and flowers, maybe a little tree. And then in here, of course, something, accessories on top of the little coffee table, on top of the little kitchen table or dining table. I can make a little lamp. I have got to paint that ceiling. Totally forgot about the ceiling. Crazy. Okay. I got to go in there with a small brush and paint the ceiling. But, there's a lot of little things that can be done inside to make it really cute and cozy and, totally decorated. You can do curtains. You could put a little bit of acetate to make windows, but, you can make your own frame. It's hard to do once it's all put together, but. So this is the 144 kit by Faith Miniatures. You can find her on Etsy. And I have another style, 144 Mid-Century Modern, also from Faith Miniatures, that at some point I'll get around to doing. And I'll keep working on this one until I can make it just perfect with the little flowers and accessories and stuff. But for now, this is good. Okay? So thank you so much for watching. If you made it till the end, you are a brave soul. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a good and healthy summer. And I will see you next time.